my channel. Today I'm doing Leetcode problem 1260, shift 2D grid. Okay, I'm not even gonna read this description. What we need to do, if you look at this diagram here, it's pretty simple. We're given, this is our grid, right? So our rows are each inner array. And we want to shift all the numbers by one position, right? So basically the 1 is moving here, the 2 is moving here, 3 is moving here, 4 is moving here, right? And then the 9 is moving up here, right? So you just see everything rotated this way, right? Pretty simple to understand. So then we just return that. So here's another example. K is 4. So this is showing you it being shifted step by step. But the end result, because it's 4, is going to put this inner array over here, right? Because everything's going to be moved over 4. So this 3 is going to be moved over 4. Okay. Pretty simple to understand. And it's funny, this diagram, now that I'm looking at this again, is not really the way I solved it. They're showing this moving one at a time. We're going to do it a little differently. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and let's go ahead and grab this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and flatten grid and then use the splice method to rearrange a flattened array, right, into just a flattened array in this order, So basically I'm going to flatten it and then use splice so that we have this 1, 13, 3, 8, 1, right, so on and so forth, right? So it's our 2D array, it's just one array. And then we can loop through that and push into a result variable an array with each 4 numbers, right? So that's going to be my approach. I know it's different than what that diagram was presenting to us, but that's okay. All right, so here's our function. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flatten the grid. So we're going to call this flat grid. Okay. And then let's just return flat grid so we can see what it looks like. Log into the console. Right. Now we can just use the splice method. I'm going to call this start equals flat grid dot splice. And here we're going to start at the first number, and we're going to go all the way to flat grid dot length minus k. Okay, so first thing, now we see that flat grid is being mutated, right? So now flat grid just has the last 4 numbers of flat grid. Now start, watch this. So start is going to have the rest of the numbers. There you go, right? So now what we can do is just push them together. Use the concat method. So I'm going to say const new grid equals flat grid dot concat start. So now if we return new grid, there you go. Now we just need to make it into a 2D array as opposed to just one array like that. So what we're going to do to achieve that is we're going to say, are we going to use a for loop? Equals 0. If I is less than new grid dot length I plus plus. Then we're going to create a temporary array. Set it to an empty array. Now we're going to use a while loop. Comment this out for a second. Just in case. It's really easy to create infinite loops when you're in code pen doing while loops. Temporary. So temporary array dot length is less than grid at 0 dot length, right? So it's less than that. We can keep the loop running. So that basically once temp array is the same length as that array, we're going to leave the while loop. So we can say temp array dot push new grid at I. Okay, and then here we can say I plus plus. Once we leave the while loop, then we push in our temp array. Now you're going to see a small problem with this. I did this on purpose because I came across this problem when I was solving it earlier, and I just wanted to show you how to fix it in case you had the same problem. But let's go ahead and comment that. Uh-oh, did I create an infinite loop somehow? Hold on. Shoot, what did I do? So while temp array dot length is less than grid at 0 dot length temporary dot push new grid at I plus plus. This all looks good to me. I'm not seeing it. Turn. Well, this should be resolved, but that's not the point. Take it locked up. Oh, I know. Result is not defined. Duh. We forgot to put this in there. Sorry about that. Very simple problem. I just forgot to create that. Okay. Cool. All right, so, but we have a problem here, right? We see it starting off correctly, but then it comes here, and this next array is 8, 1, 9, 19, right? Then we're skipping the 7, 2, 5, 4, 6, and skipping 11. The reason why this is happening is because of this I plus plus here. We do need to increment it in this while loop, but once grid.length, or once the temporary array has a length of 4, we don't want to increment this. So we can just put a little if statement in front of this saying if temp, if temp array dot length does not equal grid at 0 dot length I plus plus. There you go, and that fixed it. So we have one more issue that's going to come up, and I'm just going to go ahead and submit this because it'll be easier to see once we get the failed test. I just know that, remember, and I kind of struggle with this too at first. All right, let's format our code, run the test. Passes the test, let's submit. Okay, we have a problem. So let's grab this example. It's 23. And that should be our result. Okay, but we're not getting that. The reason why we're not getting that is because right here, flat grid.length minus k. Well, k is longer than the length of flat grid. So this is going all the way, you know, it's shooting like past 0 index, right? So start is nothing, right? And flat grid doesn't get mutated because we're not. So basically this line of code, because this number is greater than the length of that, is doing absolutely nothing. So what we can do is make sure that this number is less than grid.length. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to create a variable called num. I'm going to set that equal to k. The only time we're using k is right here, by the way. So we're going to change this to num. And now we can just create a while loop. It says while num is greater than flat grid.length, num minus equals flat grid.length. All right. Cool. So we're going to take that line of code, oops, yeah, just format it, submit it. Ooh, what happened? Oh, I didn't make this. No. There we go. Now we should be good. Cool. And it's nice and fast too. Alright. Hopefully this video was helpful and enjoyable. If it was, if you could please give it a like, that would help my channel to grow. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again real soon.